Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan. In our last episode, we promised you guys that we would take a look at that one scene in the new trailer for episode 9 of C3PO with glowing red eyes. What is going on and how many kills does the protocol droid get in episode 9? Well, first let's just remember that J.J. Abrams is well known for trolling people with misleading trailers. So with that in mind, the first thought I did have when I saw the scene was, that's not C3PO. C3PO is a 3PO unit protocol droid, which was quite a popular model in the galaxy. They mainly served as translators between sentients and computers and also served as personal assistants. Normally they sported a silver or gray coat of paint. That's how C3PO started out his life, but then he was given a shiny new coat of gold paint for Anakin and Padme's secret wedding. So it's not really that hard to paint a 3PO unit with gold paint and have it mimic C3PO. As a matter of fact, in Legends, the reason that Darth Vader was able to find and follow the Tantive V4 to Tatooine was because Imperial intelligence had reprogrammed a protocol droid designated U3PO as a sleeper agent. The protocol droid had been working for the diplomatic corps for the Royal Alderaanian House since the subjugation of Raltir. It was outfitted with a secret transmitter and was unwittingly a spy for the Empire. U3PO had been activated shortly after the Devastator lost track of the Tantive V4 and transmitted coordinates for the ship to Vader via S-Thread. But like most Legends, it set precedent for canon figures like 000. 000 has an even more uncanny resemblance to the droid we see in this picture. 000 was also a 3PO protocol droid, but his personality matrix was somewhat special, if not dark and twisted. Aside from having more than its fair share of bugs, twitchy couplings, and neurocybernetic glitches, 000 was also a skilled assassin that was great at torture. Actually, no, he was not only great at torture, he loved torture, and he loved to laugh at the suffering of other individuals. The Techno-Union's chairman, Wat Tambor, had originally owned 000's brain, and eventually it fell into the hands of Dr. Aphra, an archaeologist who was helping Darth Vader around the time of the Battle of Yavin. 000 would serve the Empire and later on personally served Dr. Aphra and killed more than his fair share of rebels and Imperial soldiers. The one giveaway that he was evil was the fact that his photoreceptors glowed red. Now, we don't really know what happened to 000 after the Galactic Civil War, and he is gray in color, but as we mentioned before, it's very easy to paint something gold and pass it off as C3PO. There's also a C3PX model that Maul had employed as an assassin, and he looks exactly like the droid we see in the trailer as well. But if I were to put money on who this individual in this picture is, I would say it is C3PO. After all, Anthony Daniels, the actor of C3PO, even posted on Twitter the following. Now, there have been some rumors floating around on the internet that C3PO has been programmed to read Sith artifacts and now is a dark side droid, which is why his eyes are glowing red, or maybe C3PO has been fitted with a combat protocol now. But I'd argue that a lot of people forget what C3PO's origins are and what his true purpose is. He is a protocol droid that had been disregarded and thrown away a long time ago. When C3PO, the rational cybernetic organism that he is, says thank the Maker, he doesn't say it in a religious way, but he's referring to Anakin Skywalker, who literally made him after he found his discarded body and slowly pieced it together. And as we see in the comics, C3PO meant a lot more to Anakin than we all realize. The reason why Anakin first begins building C3PO is that he originally was saddened by the sorry state he found the droid in. Anakin wanted to fix the droid because in many ways it reminded him of himself and his mom. It was almost therapeutic for him to work on the project of restoring C3PO. It gave him hope and the belief that wrong things can be righted once again. When he was selected to join the Jedi Temple, Anakin made sure that his mother would never sell C3PO. A Jedi must disregard all of his personal connections and also personal belongings, but Anakin still hoped he would one day return to Tatooine and get C3PO back. And he did, just days before the Clone Wars started with the Battle of Geonosis. C3PO would once again be reunited with the Maker, and the protocol droid was one of the only two witnesses to see Anakin and Padme's wedding. As the war progressed, Anakin assigned C3PO to Padme. The protocol droid didn't belong on the battlefield and was more of a hassle than a help during a fight. Throughout the war, Anakin ran into C3PO many times, but he never really got to say goodbye to C3PO before disaster struck. This time around, Anakin Skywalker had been gruesomely injured and also had fallen to the dark side. It wasn't actually until the Battle of Bespin that Vader would actually run into the droid again. At the time, Han Solo and company had no idea that Bespin was occupied by stormtroopers. C3PO, who had been wandering around looking for R2-D2, had accidentally ran into a hidden patrol of stormtroopers who quickly neutralized the droid and turned him into scrap. Shortly after, Chewbacca found the destroyed remains of C3PO in the garbage furnaces below Bespin and saved the protocol droid. He had started working on repairing C3PO when Lando had called Han, Leia, and Chewie to a meeting, where he betrayed them to Darth Vader. The stormtroopers collected the droid from their room and asked Vader whether he wanted the droid's memory bank scanned. But instead, Vader recognizes C3PO and remembers his childhood and the boy he once was. And for a second, we see that little piece of humanity that's still left inside of Darth Vader. Once Vader recollects himself, though, he tells the stormtroopers to bring the droid back to the Wookiee, who he knows will repair the protocol droid once again. Now, why would Vader do this? If he truly wanted C3PO, he could have easily fixed the droid himself, and then used them just like how he uses 000. It's almost as if he wants the Wookiee to have the droid so that the Rebellion can have the droid. Later on, in the Carbonite freezing room, we see Vader's true intention. When Chewbacca, who has C3PO tied onto his back, tries to break free from the stormtroopers, Boba Fett raises his blaster to shoot the Wookiee, but Darth Vader stops him. Not only is Vader protecting Chewbacca and the droid on his back, he's also allowing and helping Chewie to escape. And that's because C3PO has and always will be loyal to his maker Anakin. And that means when Anakin is helping the Empire, that also means C3PO will help the Empire as well. We've seen C3PO betray the rebels before to Imperial forces. We've seen him act like an oaf and endanger rebel lives, and it all seems concurrent with his true owner Anakin Skywalker's intentions. After all, C3PO was perfectly placed within the Rebellion, and he was at most of the key moments of the Galactic Civil War. He was there during the Battle of Yavin, he was there during the Battle of Hoth, and he was also at the Battle of Endor. Now, whether C3PO realized he was betraying the Rebellion is a whole nother issue. It's very possible that Vader still had access to his droid without its knowledge. But if you truly look at C3PO, he's not really a hero or a true rebel. He oftentimes is reluctant to join missions, help out, or even endanger himself in order to help other people. There's a clear difference between the way he acts and someone more selfless and heroic like R2-D2. Now, by the time of the First Order Resistance War, C3PO had become a spy master of sorts. He organized a huge network of droids as informants to gather intel whenever necessary. It's an invaluable tool that allows the Resistance to find BB-8 on Takodana, but it's also a two-way avenue for information and ultimately control. These are intelligent mechanical beings, but they also can be hacked and controlled by other forces. I wouldn't be surprised if C3PO were some kind of sleeper agent. Also, C3PO, like most droids, are servants, and they completely recognize and almost depend on the orders from a master. C3PO's original master was Anakin, and then it was Padme. Bail Organa then took over for some time, and then the droid was passed down to Leia. But now with Han, Luke, and potentially Leia all gone, the only connection to the Skywalker family is not Rey, but Kylo Ren, or Ben Solo. If C3PO is still beholden to serve the Skywalker family, then wouldn't Kylo Ren be his rightful master? C3PO has always been a reluctant fighter. He's not an ideological guy, and is far more concerned with his own survival. Joining the First Order wouldn't necessarily be out of the question for this protocol droid. Also, let's not forget that at the end of the Episode 9 trailer, we do hear the deep asthmatic breathing of Darth Vader. Of course, J.J. Abrams could be trolling us once again. Or maybe JJ knows that we know he loves trolling us, which means he's not trolling us. Anyway, I think it'd be really cool to see C3PO turn against the so-called good guys. He's been around for decades now, watching all of these people kill each other. Maybe he's finally had enough. So guys, those are some of the reasons why we think that C3PO has red eyes in the new Star Wars Episode 9 trailer. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, and also don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss out on the rest of our awesome content. As usual, thanks for joining us today. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.